In this tutorial, we are going to look into two aspects of the assessment process. These can be allocated to the teacher group depending on your school's setup. The first is of review and the second publishing. These steps are next after the initial assessment contributions have been made by the course teachers. For younger age groups, the teachers may cover all educational content and may use this feature to enter their students' full assessments. Let's look at the review page. In the top corner, you can see that you can choose to review by class. However, please note that all teachers with access to the review page will have access to the school level. Next to this, you have the assessment terms. Always check to make sure that you are reviewing in the correct assessment term. If you notice, next to the class listings, there is an icon. This will allow you to be able to review by course. With MySchool, we promote the process that course educators will enter assessments via the assess grid, and that these assessments will be reviewed by a peer, head of school or independent reviewer. Once reviewed, the reports can be published. To simply start the reviewing process, you can click on a student and the review panel will appear and slide over. Also, on the review page, you'll notice the contribution helps reviewers gain a quick update on whether assessment criteria has been entered and set as completed. Looks like we're missing one assessment, so let's go and check this out. We can see that the criteria has been entered, so let's set the assessment to complete and go back to reviewing. Let's click on a student and start reviewing. Here in the Overview tab, we can see a general comment field. This is to be used by class teachers, head of year, or even to attach a templated message from the head of school. It can be personalized with tags and with the comment templates. But let's open another course and continue reviewing. If the subject has learning outcomes or standards attached, teachers, using the assignment module, can build up a list of evidences over a term period. When using the achievement grades to promote continuous assessment, it can be useful to have these presented to the reviewer, who can validate the scale of the assessment. If needed, the reviewer can change the final assessment based on these evidences. Once the change has been made, don't forget to submit. In this section, we can see that the assessment is using student self-reflections, which can either be set to be edited in review mode or read-only. This is determined when you set up your assessment criteria for the subject. If the box is grey, then the student is the only one to be able to edit. Reviewers can click through the tabs and edit when needed. If you do make a change, then you will always need to submit after each change in each tab. As you can see in all of these examples, you can mix and match assessment types to really make sure your assessment report is as comprehensive as your school needs. Now you can save as reviewed once the reviewing is complete. This action will change the review status and lock further assessments from the assess grid. We can see in the list that the student is classed as being reviewed, and the blue icon confirms the name of the reviewer and the timestamp. If the assessment grid needs to be reopened, then simply open the review panel by clicking on the student's name and set it to Save as Draft. You can use the download overview to have all reports within one PDF. However, this can take some time as each PDF is created individually. It may also affect pagination and format. To view an individual's PDF, then open the review panel and select Download Grade Report. This will give you an exact copy of the report that will be finally published for that particular student. Although this is a central administrator functionality, it is good to understand the parameters of this page and how it can affect teachers and students. If you cannot use the assess grid and you have a status showing as locked, then this means that an access period has been applied to the assessment. Speak to your central administrative team to unlock this. When everything is confirmed and reviewed and completed, all administrators would need to do is press the Publish button. The system will now generate all the PDFs within that class level. It may take several minutes depending on the complexity and size of the school. Once published, the status will appear green. Teachers with access to the Student Assessment tab can always download the published grade reports by opening their profiles. If you look as well, you'll be able to see that we can see some grades entered. These are known as the primary assessment fields. These can be set by your administrative team.